Welcome to Invest. We talk about investing, finance, and professional development. It's the current time of 10:24 a.m. on the Eastern Time on March 29th. Hope you guys have a good week so far. We are on a Wednesday, so halfway through the week. Respect to Ethereum, $100,811, up about 2.08% so far. As you can see on the left side of the chart, the overall crypto market and the equity market as well is pumping. It seems like we're just experiencing relatively more just like consolidating, up and down, swinging sideways type of momentum so far, and it's been durating for, ever since the SVB debacle. We've been just kind of looking for the next macro catalyst onto, obviously, to see how we will be shaking out the economy going forward. And as you can see on the technical front, we've been basically trading sideways for the last 10 days so far. And the reversal was mainly due to, well, specifically on the crypto side, mainly due to the anti-correlation effect from the collapse of, as you have seen, the financial sector has been, relatively depressed, right, with respect to SVB being basically blown up because of the outflow of deposits, triangulating with the increase of interest rate, the close down of Signature Bank, the verge of collapse of First Republic Bank, the collapse as well of Credit Suisse, and it seems like there's other activities that might be a little bit seems to be a little bit gray area around like tax shield that they've been advising to their large wealthy clients. That is a little bit of a no in terms of like the ethics in terms Wall Street is kind of a difficult way of gauging. Is not like purely black and white, right? There's always some leeway or loopholes. So it seems like they are in fire again. And with that being said, it will translate into some sort of a rebound across the crypto market, which is basically the mantra of the exact opposite of the financial system, right? And on the equity side, you can see that we're also pumping selectively, but it seems like we're just kind of gliding, as we are proceeding with the pattern that we've been discussing, right? On the equity side, is we're forming a reverse head and shoulder pattern, and with respect to the crypto side of the equation, we are forming right now we're forming some sort of a downward wedge that translates into a pump, but this is more of a cup and handle that we're forming right now, right? So before we dive into technical specifically, let's just dive into the with respect to the news front. Seems like obviously again, right? We talked about this. Like Credit Suisse whistleblower says that the Swiss banks has been helping wealthy Americans dodge U.S. taxes. With their certain tax shield structure, it could be establishing some sort of a non-for-profit. It could be establishing some sort of like a foundation. To be doing some sort of a charitable donations, right? But that's another form of basically tax shield that will allow you to pay less tax because it's a form of obviously charitable non-for-profit entity that it doesn't make sense to be donating while at the same time paying tax on top of it. So it's kind of like double paying, right? So in a taxation perspective, it kind of protects wealthy clients, which are typically doing that, but for good social cause, but also good for taxation. And then other news, you could see that across the spectrum are relatively mixed bag. Nothing really pointing up or down, but like more like consumer retail sector type of stocks that are in the forefront of the media coverage. You can see that Lululemon right now is up 14%. Seems like they're doing well, and also with the upgrades from across multiple banks. And also with respect to other news, mostly on just like trivial, right? Nothing really specific, right? So without wasting more time, let's just dive into technical. And apologies for me posting not as frequent. As you can see, this is like my calendar on a day-to-day basis. My schedule is quite demanding. And last week I was in LA and San Francisco. That's why I was just heads down. I couldn't even make it to the computer. But anyways, let's just get back into the game. With respect to recording time of 10:29 a.m. on the Eastern Time on Wednesday, we are just sustaining just a hair below 18, 100, and we are up 1.7% right now, and the trend and the pump that we're seeing again is with respect to the stir that we're seeing with the anti-correlation effects from the financial market. But at the moment right now, we are at a relatively high risk because you can see that on the daily, we've been looking to form a death cross, which we have not done. So we kind of muted at the moment, but this does give you like a good reason to be buying because we do need to cross down and eventually bump. At the same time, we are relatively high up, right? 60 out of 70 on the technical front. And on the weekly large separation, we are also at 58 out of 70. So it is looking like near term we will see some correction coming down to more of a tolerable level of 1650 and then reversing back up, right? On the monthly, we are looking like we're about to rebound, so which is something that we appreciate. But again, right, we have to kind of wait until we get over the hurdle. So what this is saying is that transitional period should be happening sometimes in late Q2 to Q3. On the Bitcoin side of the equation, we are looking like we are landing at the 50 out of 70. On a daily, with respect to the current level, we are looking like we're kind of cross down before we cross up, right? 65 out of 70. And on the weekly front, you could see that we have a large separation, 64 out of 70 right now. So Bitcoin is even more extended than Ethereum, which makes sense because Bitcoin is the representations of the anti-financial systems that we have, right? To decentralize, to, obviously to be the next generations of financial system. So which makes sense. So which is the reason why it's pumping. So Bitcoin is a little bit more extended due to its own, specific macro application, but it doesn't convey a good level for us to get in, especially the depth cross about to be formed. On the index front, SPY is up in the sky, closing into 400. But you could see that with respect to the elongations on the weekly, you could see that we have not crossed down in a while. This is a depth cross that's about to be formed or needs to be formed. On the daily, also quite extended at 55 out of 70. So daily, weekly look quite bearish as the monthly looking like it's about to rebound closely around Q2, Q3. So it seems like the market reversal, it is in play. It is looking like it's coming together, which is something we appreciate. So it's just about a matter of patience and also with respect to getting over the tax season hump, getting over, the subsequent rate hikes that we'll have to see and see how the financial sector will shake out. Then as we get the last hurrahs, I would say, with these like sizable seismic factors, we should be good ultimately. And then so I would say that's really pretty much it on the overall macro market updates, and apologies for posting a little bit, different time and also not as frequent as I wish to be. I wish that were more me. The articulations of these analysis requires a lot of energy and requires a lot of efforts of research and stuff like that. So hopefully you guys understand where I'm coming from. But I appreciate you. Have a good day, and I'll check you on the next one. Take care. Bye.